I think one of my previous works was being like the product head of Hint. It's a education-based company in the US where they're pretty much teaching people how to trade, invest in the stock market, options, stuff like that. So Hint is a separate product which I personally handled before. So what I did there on the webinar side is every week I do a 1 hour learning session with people there, with the community, the customers there. So I usually use Zoom for that one. So yeah, that's like my extensive webinar like experience there. So yeah. Actually, it was pretty easy to navigate. I can't really compare it to Zoom because I think WebinarGeek has more functions than Zoom. So because Zoom is like your typical, like you have a webinar, you start it, or you have like a scheduled webinar, and then people just join in, can interact with them and such. Basically, WebinarGeek has like more functions. For example, there's like a button there that says interactive, and I forgot what the other name is, but if you don't choose interactive, basically it's just you doing the webinar so people can interact with you. So it's just like a one-way thing. But if it's interactive, like they can chat with you and stuff. I also like that they have like the statistics there. So for example, like people who join, like viewer statistics and stuff. So that's really great. So there's also like three types of webinars. There's live, there's on demand, and then there's automated. So I think these are like for different types of people. For example, if it's live, just your typical webinar. If it's automated, you already did the webinar and you're just broadcasting it at a certain time and date. And if it's like on demand, it's like kind of feels like if you're familiar with Twitch or Kick, where it's like live streaming. So basically, if you like own a coaching or something like that, where people buy like a webinar from you and then you just send them the webinar and then they just pay. So yeah, it kind of, I can't really compare it to Zoom or Google Meet because I feel like Webinar Geek does more things than these two platforms. So yeah. The tutorial was quite helpful. My only concern there was I think there are some parts of the webinar geek that was confusing to me. For example, let's say I want to do a webinar now. Like let's say I'm in a company setting, I have something really important to share and it can't wait. So basically in webinar geek you have to schedule the webinars in advance. So there's no, or maybe I just failed to check, but I believe that there is no button there that just really starts the webinar immediately. You have to like schedule it maybe in the future, maybe 5 minutes from now or like 1 hour from now. So that's one thing. But yeah, all in all, I think I really like the platform. The help on the tutorial there, the help articles were also great. It would really be helpful if maybe some of the help articles are like near the, for example, there's like a button here and maybe there's like a mini something here, like a mini phrase or something that kind of describes the button. And if you like put your mouse on this mini phrase like there, then it would like link you to that help article. So something like that, because just I know that people are really lazy on like searching help articles and then just want it like already there. So yeah, I think the platform in itself is pretty straightforward. So nothing was really confusing to me. Like the only confusing part was like I want, if I wanted to do like a webinar now, I have to schedule it like in advance. I can't just like press a button and like here's the webinar now, so it's starting. So yeah, I think what really surprised me was the on demand thing, because in my previous job, right, I was doing like webinars every week and also doing like one-on-one calls. So basically if like the on demand thing was, we had it, I could essentially just record like maybe 4 to 5 webinars and then just schedule them, and people would just, if they wanted, they could just buy it. And basically that just leaves me, gives me the freedom to like not think about it or just do it in one go, and then for future reference people would just buy it and then they would get whatever knowledge is in there. So yeah, the on demand thing is really nice feature. Aside from that, the statistics one is really great also. I'm not really sure if Zoom has statistics. I know they have like a meeting summary and everything. But the statistics on like polls and then the attendees, like your number of web. There's also like a dashboard there where it says like number of webinars and some statistics there. They're really helpful. So I really like that a lot as well. So when comparing it to Zoom or Google Meet, I think Zoom and Google Meet, they're more basic in a sense that it's pretty straightforward. Webinar Geek is like, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with like, how do you call this? Like CRMs, but like I feel like Webinar Geek is like go high level, and then Zoom and Google Meet is like, I don't know, some basic CRM tool. So yeah, basically Webinar Geek has a lot of really good functions. I think I'm just gonna tell them like Webinar Geek has the same functions of Zoom, but more. So if you're looking for like expanded product that can cater to maybe if their business is like coaching or like basically selling courses online, then Webinar Geek is actually perfect for them. Yeah. Can do like what Zoom does for a company, but yeah, it has really more features and it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I actually tried the integration. So I integrated with my HubSpot and it worked really well. But there's this one, I also tried to integrate with ConvertKit, but just Kit for short. So I did all of the instructions on how to like integrate it. It was pretty straightforward.